Shalom. Well, I can tell you, last night was a rough one. When I ended up putting out that video about Yeshua being Yahweh in the flesh, really, even after I'd finished recording the message, it was still resonating in me, and it was just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And then it's just like, I've always known that the Gospels, the messages that Yeshua was speaking, being the Father in the flesh. But then it dawned on me that the Gospels that we have all read, the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, even the bits in Revelation, that actually was Yahweh himself speaking in his human form, his human body, his son. And I know some people, they're not going to be able to wrap their heads around this, but it just, the weight of all that every time I pick up a Bible and I'm reading those words with the understanding now that I am reading the words of Yahweh spoken by his son Yeshua. When the realization, when it all just hit me like that, I ended up going through, it is so hard to describe. It's almost like an adrenaline surge, emotional overload. It just, so much was hitting me all at the same time, and I broke down in tears. I was sobbing. It was so, what hit me, I got hit with something so powerful. I couldn't psychologically process it. I mean, now I'm able to process it, but all of it happening all at once at that time, it's one of those things that I had to let it run its course. It is so hard to describe what I was feeling, where my emotional state was. It's not something that I can put into words. I don't know. I literally don't know how to put it into words. And then today I started thinking about, Yahweh being omnipresent, being anywhere and everywhere at any time, past, present, and future, all at the same time. It made me think in the Gospels about the Transfiguration. Because Yeshua said that no one has ascended to heaven yet. Nobody. And I started thinking about the transfiguration. When Yeshua walked to the top of this mountain, you had Elijah and you had Moses. But if they aren't in heaven, and they definitely haven't been brought back from the grave, the only thing that dawned and hit me in the head was something so profound. And I know it's not written down anywhere like this. It's just, you have to sit and think about the whole thing. That with Yahweh, who can be omnipresent, again, he can be anywhere, he can be everywhere all at once, at any time in history and in the future. That in the Tanakh, both Moses and Elijah both ascended to the tops of mountains in order to speak with Yahweh. And it was really making me, I was really looking at this and like, the disciples know this to be Yeshua, which in turn is Yahweh in the flesh. And even, you know, you've got Mount Horeb here, you've got Mount Sinai and so forth. And it just kind of dawned on me that in the form of Yeshua, Yahweh was actually talking to Moses and Elijah while they were both still alive. There's nothing that said that Yahweh physically had to be at that exact location in order to do this. Had to be right there with Elisha, had to be right there with Moses. He could be still in the heavens on the other side of the planet and still do it. But he was standing there in his heavenly form, having two independent conversations with two men in history at different time periods and at different locations. So let me see if I can break this down a little bit easier. You've got Yeshua, who is Yahweh in the flesh, at the transfiguration scene, having a conversation with Moses and Elisha. With Moses and Elijah in this particular situation, very possibly still being alive, and they are conversing with Yahweh from the time period that they were actually alive in their two respected separate locations. And Yeshua is there, Yahweh in the flesh, having these two conversations completely independent of the other, and neither Moses nor Elisha has any understanding that the other person is, Yahweh's having a conversation with the other right there at the exact same time. And I'm just like, I'm almost 46 years old. And having this stuff being revealed to me now, I feel so blessed and so grateful. But seeing it with the eyes that I have been given, these scales that have been lifted, that I'm able to see for what it is, it really makes you realize is just how much bigger all of this is than what I thought initially. This is just, I feel like I'm having to learn everything all over again. This is just, it's incredible. And it is overwhelming, and it's something that it's still going to take me time to try to process this stuff. But it's, in the last few days, I've had one revelation exposed to me, then another. And now today I've got this revelation exposed to me. And I'm wondering when the next one's going to happen. Because now that I understand that, yes, Yeshua was Yahweh in the flesh, but once I truly understood what that actually means, I am looking at everything that I have seen read throughout the Bible, the way I understood things has completely flipped everything upside down on its head. I am in something new right now. That nothing in the Bible has changed. It's causing me to look at the same, everything, but with the new set of eyes that I can actually see it in this kind of new light, which is just, it's breathtaking. It really is. I'm seeing things perhaps Yahweh wanted to wait all this time until he thought I was ready to be able to process this information to see it the way I am seeing it right now. Praise Yah. So I just wanted to go ahead and share this with all of you. Shalom, brothers and sisters.